Good afternoon. My name is Elena Shevtsova. I'm an immigration attorney from Brooklyn, New York. In today's Legally Speaking seminar, I would like to tell you about what helps to win hardship waivers. Hardship waivers can be used in immigration for various purposes in connection with various immigration problems. One of them, for example, is unlawful presence. It can be also an inadmissibility related to a criminal offense or maybe something else, depending on what exactly you need to waive. Also, a very similar approach would be used for cancellation of removal cases, either for lawful permanent residents or non-permanent residents, those who spent in the United States 10 years. So what really helps to win the case? Of course, you're going to, before submitting the waiver, you're going to go through instructions and you're going to read what is required to attach with your application. But in my experience, here are the three things that help the most. Well, first of all, will be a detailed story, detailed letters of the applicant and of the person, the hardship to whom the applicant is trying to explain. It's very, very important. And some people refer to it as hardship letters, but it's really more like a life story. I call it a life story, where where a person basically tells everything, the journey from their home country to the United States, and what happened to them here, and what hardships they faced and their relatives faced, and how it all unfolded. It's very, very important. Another important piece of evidence are pictures. Pictures are very helpful because, as you can imagine, in absolute majority of cases, you will not be able to see that officer who's making decision on your case. And we all have better visual perception than when we need to read the text. So when you attach a picture of somebody who is on oxygen, right, or somebody in a wheelchair, or somebody who is sick, or you attach a picture with your children, and an officer can see real people, real faces, real problems, it helps a lot. Very, very important to attach good pictures. Another important piece of evidence is evidence of financial hardship. Many people say, and as they read instructions to the waivers, it says that financial hardship is not that important, but in my experience, it's actually very important. If you have a huge credit card debt that you will not be able to pay if you are removed back to your home country, that's important. If your qualifying relative has a mortgage that you help paying, and without that help, the mortgage will not be paid. That's very, very important. In every single case where we submitted detailed financial hardship evidence, every single case was approved. So it's very, very important to present that evidence. And finally, that you probably already know, but nevertheless it's very important, medical records. Medical records are very important. Medical records from the doctors who treated qualifying relatives, that ideally the medical record would be also accompanied by the doctor's report, like a letter where the doctor specifies various aspects of the person's condition and how that condition affects the person's everyday life. That's very important to attach that. And with a good presentation, majority of the waivers will be granted. The waivers will not be granted usually if you don't statutorily qualify for it, but you really should know about that before you file for the waiver, not to make that mistake and waste all this time and money. And the waivers will not be granted if the evidence is missing. If the evidence consists of like 10 pages, then it's really not even worth it. It's not worth it to apply for the waiver, because that's not going to be granted. Officers expect you to document your life and evidence in support of your application very well. And as always, you can read more about the waivers and how you can help yourself and your loved ones on our website, www.shevtsova.com. Thank you.